Okay, our second new game, we've got Daimyo again. We've seen that one already. Cage that's from expansion. We've got Alchemists. You might want to do potions. Guildmaster, Way of the Horse, Panic. So when you buy a treasure, plus 2 buys, and when you discard one from play, return it to its pile. And we do want to try to get Haunted Mirror for ghosts. It doesn't seem unreasonable to open potion and um, Hermit maybe to start trashing some stuff and try to get some actions. And if we need to, um, Coastal Haven. When discarding, you may spend any number of favor. Yes, I do not need to do that right now, but I can do that with potion the first time I see it. They got a clerk. Each player with 5 or more cards to start on my turn, you may play this from hand. Okay. This is not a good draw. So I'm going to end buys and spend my favor to set aside this potion. And this is a pretty good draw, although I didn't see a estate to trash. I can just go ahead and horse this, but I think I'm just going to play it and gain another Hermit. I can discard from my discard pile. Good to know. And then I buy an Alchemist. So Wall is going to want to limit the size of our deck. And my opponent has also got a Kitsune, which is one of the new cards, which is serving as a village. I think I want to get draw first and then village stuff. And I will go ahead and horse this. I will go ahead and play this to gain another Hermit. Is there a reason I want to gain that? To gain another Hermit? And then maybe I'll buy a Daimyo for the replaying the Alchemist stuff. My opponent has Daimyo'd and Hermit, which is nice. Lets them thin their deck a little bit. If they can trash 2 estates. And they're returning... Oh, the second play, they're returning it to the pile. So that's good. So they're giving me curses, which, I don't know. I don't really see the point of it. Question is, do I want to buy a cage here? Set up to 4 cards from your hand face down. The next time you get a victory card, trash this and put the set aside. I don't really want to buy victory cards. I guess I could just set aside a bunch of coppers on a turn. So I think probably just Daimyo is better. And I will top deck the Alchemist. Daimyo on the Alchemist is quite nice. That's going to enable me to draw a bunch of cards. I can also play Daimyo Hermit, but I don't think I want to do that. Alchemist. Okay, so now we can play Daimyo Hermit. And we'll gain another Hermit. How do we get a ghost? So we have to trash this with something other than Hermit, which would be Cage. Does not trash. Cemetery trashes. So I will gain another Hermit. And then I will horse that Hermit so I can draw cards. And now I can consider going ahead and getting a ghost, which would be what? I buy a cemetery for 4 money, which I don't actually have. So I'm going to go ahead and play this to trash a curse and gain another Hermit. I'm going to go ahead and play all my treasures, play my debt, and end turn, trading in the Alchemist. I didn't gain any cards in my Alchemist. I got a Madman. Okay, it did not prompt me for that. Useful to note. So this turn is likely going to be bad. And I'm getting a lot of curses, which seems awkward. So I need to figure out if I can stop my opponent from doing that. I do have a Madman now. The Madman turn should be quite nice. I want to get a Guildmaster. I will probably want to get myself a Kitsune. So do I want to buy? I think I just want to buy a village to start. And this is going to be a very nice turn, hopefully. Daimyo Madman mostly works the way I want it to, I think. And they're giving me a lot of curses. I don't know that that's helping their deck. It probably is. They're also working on this panic thing, which could really mess up my potions, potentially when panic goes off, which I think it has. Okay, so we have now mostly drawn our deck. Does it actually show that in the log? Panic happening from Kitsune plays. I don't see it, but maybe it has. So we'll go ahead and Hermit this, play Workers Village, Daimyo, Hermit to trash an estate, and gain a Hermit. And we'll horse the second one. And yeah, so the way panic works, when you play a treasure +2 buys, and when you discard one from play, return it to its pile. Does that mean all my treasures are going back to their piles? We shall find that out soon, I guess. I guess I'm going to just play all my treasures and buy an Alchemist and a Cutpurse as a money. I can top deck the Alchemist, but I do lose my potion, so that is useful to note. I can gain silvers with these Hermits. It's fine. An Alchemist is just kind of a lab, so that's potentially something that I can work into. Yeah, but my opponent's really hitting me with those curses. Maybe opening the potion, I'm just not going to hit 5 ever. But my opponent opened with Clerk, Hermit, and then immediately hits 5 on turn 3, which is, they're going to hit 5 on probably. And I was able to get my thing. My next goal here is to get a Guildmaster. And then we'll play this Workers Village. Probably we'll play this Cutpurse twice, just for payload. Or we could play the Hermit twice for trashing. Let me just play the Cutpurse twice. And probably I want to stop here, buy a cemetery, and trash. We will buy this and trash those things and discard this action for a ghost, and feel pretty happy to have a ghost in play. So now my opponent got a thicker deck than me, probably. They still have a couple of coppers, probably. I have some curses, and I'm probably going to want to use my Hermit to gain some silvers this turn, or yeah, I mean, that's sort of the sad part about Hermit. I also need to watch the piles, although I'm not super concerned about that. And I'm pretty happy to have this ghost in play. Yeah, if I ghost a Hermit and it gains some silvers, then it's not the end of the world. Do we want to just double Cutpurse? And then Hermit, I think I'm probably going to do that. And then as the first one, and play it as the second one to trash. So I can gain another Hermit. Daimyo plays Cutpurse twice. And I guess we need to gain a Clerk for the effect. And then Ghost is going to hit our Clerk, which is fine. So yeah, because of Away the Horse, I guess we're not super concerned about the piles. I didn't hit 5 that turn. That was kind of my goal. So I kind of screwed up the planning there. But I am thin now, and my opponent's just hitting much bigger price points, it looks like. So the Kitsune gaining silvers is nice with panic, I guess. But I could start with Daimyo Alchemist and gain some silvers if I need to along the way. Okay, they're just gaining tons of stuff. Yeah. But yeah, the ghosted. Oh, I ghosted an Alchemist. I did not realize that. Okay. Can activate the Clerk, get some money. I can Daimyo my Cutpurse both times. Draw. So I can Daimyo this Hermit to gain 2 things. And I will gain a silver and another Hermit, probably. And then draw it. And for 8, I do have plus buy, but I think probably it is just gaining a Guildmaster now for the favors and a Kitsune for the money and silver. I'm going to just gain a Kitsune and a Hermit. And again, I feel like I'm behind a couple of turns. I don't know, based on what happened here. If I just started slow, if Potion was kind of pointless with Panic, it could be that Potion just is going to be bad with Panic. But I did hit, yeah, I'm just not going to hit with Potion Hermit. I'm not going to hit the price points that one needs to hit to get a 5, and getting a Kitsune and just starting the cursing seemed like it was pretty good to start with. Definitely my opponent has had a good strategy here. Yeah, I'm just not considering the new cards, I think, to the extent that I need to. I guess I'm horsing this. We definitely play that. We can play the Clerk. We can play the Kitsune, and we'll gain coins and silver, which we can then draw. Cutpurse doesn't attack. Hermit gains a silver, a cage. I want to gain some kind of, I guess I want to gain a Guildmaster here. I guess I'm overdrawing mostly, so we'll gain that silver, and then I'll gain 2 Guildmasters, or Guildmaster and a Daimyo, and play the Ghost. Guildmaster, Daimyo. Play one of them. It hits the Daimyo, which should kick me off next turn. But I do feel like I'm 2 turns behind, so maybe opening Clerk Silver just to get up the Kitsune slows me down enough that my opponent was able to just get off to a good head start. So I totally believe that this strategy of theirs is just better. And I think I undervalue Daimyo again, which I think especially with the way of the horse and Hermit, the first Hermit gains a Hermit, and then the second Hermit is a horse, is just a combo you should try to get quickly. So they're going to get another province here and be ahead by 2 provinces, it looks like. Okay, so we can start with the Clerk. Then we can play the Daimyo. Play, and we'll play Guildmaster twice. And we'll play Kitsune. We'll play Kitsune, or we'll play Kitsune. I think we'll take silver coins here. Draw, draw, draw. And then we can play that twice. And then we can play that to get rid of the last curse. Just gain a couple of silvers. I don't want to trash that. And we'll play all of our treasures and just buy 2 provinces. 2 provinces and a Hermit, which is at worst a horse. And do I want to use Coastal Haven? Sure. I could have kept one of my silvers, maybe? I'm not sure. My opponent did take the time to pick up an Alchemist. One of the things I thought I wouldn't figure out is that I was missing what my opponent was doing, and that's definitely the case here. They're going to be able to have a big turn here with their Ghost Guildmaster and probably get the last 2 provinces and win. Looks like that's the case. Well played by my opponent. I just think I kind of missed the opening here, which is reasonable, and need to work on that for subsequent games. I think, yeah, Daimyo was very strong. Kitsune ended up being very strong, and just hitting those high price points early, and then with Panic, moving that along. I think Clerk did a good job doing what it did, and maybe I need to focus more on that. Probably I just skip Alchemist entirely in this kingdom and draw with something else. Maybe not. Yeah, draw with Way of the Horse. You know, play Hermit twice. Once gains a Hermit, the second Way of the Horse kind of stuff. Um, and I don't actually know that I've played with Cage before, but that was also possibly useful. I don't know. My opponent opened early. I don't think it was super valuable. So that's another loss for me. Off to a rough start, but we're learning things.